Hello, Los Angeles Dodgers fans. We've got fresh, exclusive videos and the latest updates just for you. Before we dive in, make sure to join our channel and hit that like button. This is the best way to stay on top of all the breaking news. Something's brewing in Los Angeles, and it's not the typical California sunshine kind of heat. It's the type that makes headlines, shakes locker rooms, and sends shockwave through baseball circles. According to whispers coming out of Chavez Ravine, the atmosphere inside the Dodger clubhouse has shifted dramatically over the past few weeks. Reports suggest that manager Dave Roberts, usually known for his calm demeanor and steady hand, found himself in a heated exchange with several veteran players after a recent series of disappointing performances. The Dodgers, always expected to be at the top of the National League, have struggled to maintain consistency, and patience seems to be wearing thin. What's most surprising isn't the losing streak. Even elite teams hit slumps, but rather the fact that the confrontation allegedly got personal. Sources claim voices were raised, and tempers flared as key veterans questioned Roberts' game management decisions, particularly his bullpen choices and batting order rotations. For a team built on discipline, chemistry, and leadership, this kind of locker room tension is rare. Still, when egos, pressure, and championship expectations collide, even the tightest teams can start to show cracks. Fans are buzzing, insiders are whispering, and the Dodgers might just be entering a pivotal crossroads in their season. The tension reportedly reached its boiling point after another frustrating late-game collapse, one that saw the Dodgers bullpen squander a lead in dramatic fashion. Inside sources say it wasn't just one or two players expressing frustration. Several respected veterans spoke up during a closed-door meeting, directly challenging Dave Roberts on his decision-making and leadership style. The conversation, initially meant to be constructive, quickly turned confrontational. One player, described as a longtime clubhouse leader, allegedly questioned whether Roberts still had control of the team. Those who know Roberts describe him as a player's manager, someone who thrives on communication and trust, but this time, that trust seems to have been tested. The Dodgers' locker room, usually filled with laughter, music, and lighthearted banter, has reportedly gone quiet, the kind of quiet that speaks louder than words. Players are walking on eggshells, staff members are cautious, and everyone seems to be waiting for the next move. Could this be the moment that defines the Dodgers' season? Or will Roberts find a way to calm the storm before it grows into something bigger than baseball? Behind the scenes, team executives are said to be keeping a close eye on the situation. While no official statements have been made, it's clear that the front office isn't thrilled with the current atmosphere. After all, the Dodgers are an organization built on high expectations, a winning culture, and meticulous structure. The idea of internal discord doesn't sit well with upper management, especially when the postseason looms. What makes the situation even more intriguing is the history between Roberts and some of these veterans. These aren't just bench players frustrated with playing time. These are cornerstone figures, guys who've been through wars, celebrations, and heartbreaks under Roberts' leadership. For them to raise their voices now suggests something deeper than a bad week of baseball. Some insiders speculate the argument centered around strategic rigidity, with players feeling that Roberts isn't adapting to changing dynamics or opponents fast enough. Others claim it's about accountability, that veterans feel they're being unfairly singled out for mistakes while management decisions escape scrutiny. Whatever the truth, one thing's certain. Something fundamental has shifted within the Dodgers' identity, and the fallout could have long-term consequences. The irony of all this is that Dave Roberts has always been seen as one of the most player-friendly managers in baseball. He's known for fostering unity, keeping egos in check, and maintaining open communication lines. But that same approach, some say, might be backfiring. When you create an environment based on collaboration, any hint of lost trust can cause the entire structure to wobble. A few players reportedly feel Roberts has become overly cautious, leaning too heavily on analytics rather than gut instinct, a common debate in today's modern baseball landscape. Others defend him, saying he's simply doing what's necessary to keep the Dodgers competitive in an era dominated by data-driven strategies. Still, there's no denying the emotional toll that losing takes, and emotions seem to be spilling over. Some veterans have apparently begun holding their own meetings, separate from coaches, in an effort to reconnect the clubhouse. That by itself speaks volumes. It's the kind of self-policing that can either reignite a team's unity or reveal just how fractured things really are behind closed doors. Fans, meanwhile, are torn between disbelief and frustration. Many can't fathom the idea of the Dodgers, one of baseball's most stable organizations, dealing with internal chaos. Others, however, see it as an inevitable consequence of years of sky-high expectations and relentless pressure. Social media has only intensified the noise, with fans speculating about which players were involved, who might have initiated the confrontation, and what it means for Roberts' future. Talk shows have picked up the story, analysts are dissecting every in-game decision, and suddenly, the Dodgers aren't just fighting their opponents, they're fighting the narrative. Baseball, at its core, is a game of rhythm and chemistry, and when that chemistry starts to sour, performance inevitably follows. The question haunting Dodgers Nation now is whether this is just a temporary flare-up or a sign of deeper fractures. For a team with championship ambitions, there's no time for division. Yet division is exactly what seems to be creeping in. As for Dave Roberts himself, those close to him say he's maintaining his composure, at least publicly. He's known for being even-keeled, a steady presence through both triumphs and turmoil. But behind that calm exterior, some insiders suspect he's feeling the weight of the situation more than ever. The Dodgers' success over the years has been as much about culture as talent, and Roberts has been the architect of that culture. Now, with the foundation being questioned, he faces one of the toughest challenges of his managerial career. Does he double down on his methods or make adjustments to regain the clubhouse's trust? His next moves will be crucial, because in Los Angeles, where the spotlight never fades and the scrutiny never sleeps, one misstep can become magnified beyond repair. The city that celebrates its heroes can also turn on them quickly. Roberts knows that, and so do his players. One thing's for sure, the coming days in Dodger Stadium won't just be about baseball. They'll be about pride, leadership, and survival. If part one of the story was about confrontation, part two is about the aftermath, the uneasy calm that follows an earthquake. Since the heated exchange between Dave Roberts and his veteran players, sources say the team has been operating in a strange, tense rhythm. Outwardly, everyone's professional. Batting practice, team meetings, and media appearances go on as scheduled. But beneath the surface, there's a quiet frost. The camaraderie that once defined the Dodgers' dugout feels forced, as if players are performing normalcy rather than living it. Some observers even noted that post-game celebrations have toned down noticeably. No more loud music, fewer smiles, and a lot more introspection. Roberts, for his part, has tried to shift focus back to fundamentals, holding extra sessions, and one-on-one talks with key players. But whether these efforts are working remains unclear. The veterans who spoke up reportedly stand by their words, insisting the conversation needed to happen. Still, it's evident that the emotional wounds from that confrontation haven't fully healed. Trust takes time to rebuild, and in the unforgiving world of professional sports, time is one luxury no team truly has. What's adding fuel to the fire is how much of this has leaked to the media. Someone inside the organization clearly spoke, and that has angered both players and staff alike. Leaks are poison in a baseball clubhouse. They erode trust faster than losses ever could. Now everyone's pointing fingers, wondering who let the story slip. For Roberts, that might be the biggest challenge of all, reestablishing confidentiality and control. When a team's internal issues become public fodder, the narrative tends to spiral, often distorting reality along the way. Insiders suggest Roberts has held multiple private meetings urging unity, reminding the team that championships are won by collective strength, not fractured egos. But the irony is hard to ignore. Every attempt to repair the damage only seems to draw more attention to how deep it runs. The Dodgers front office has reportedly stepped in quietly, urging patience and downplaying the rumors, but the damage may already be done. In a city where every whisper becomes a headline, The Dodgers family drama has turned into Los Angeles' newest obsession. Some former players have weighed in, offering their own perspectives on what's happening. A few have come to Roberts' defense, saying that heated arguments are simply part of the game, especially when stakes are high. They point out that even championship teams go through moments of internal tension. It's how they emerge from those moments that defines their legacy. Others, however, believe this might be the first sign of deeper cultural fatigue within the organization. After years of being perennial contenders, the pressure to sustain excellence can wear down even the strongest locker rooms. The Dodgers have built an empire of consistency, but empires eventually show cracks when success starts to feel like an expectation rather than an achievement. Those close to the team say some veterans are frustrated not just with Roberts, but with the overall sense of complacency, the feeling that the hunger has faded slightly. Whether or not that's true, perception often becomes reality. The Dodgers, once the picture of unity, now face the daunting task of proving they're still the same cohesive force that defined them for so long. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. The timing of all this couldn't be worse. With the postseason drawing closer, every game carries extra weight, and the media scrutiny only intensifies. Fans are desperate for clarity. Is this just an emotional hiccup or the start of something much bigger? The team's performance on the field hasn't done much to ease concerns. There have been flashes of brilliance followed by inexplicable collapses, moments of dominance overshadowed by questionable in-game decisions. Some analysts are beginning to wonder if the turmoil is affecting the players' focus. Baseball, more than most sports, thrives on rhythm, trust, and routine. When those elements are disrupted, even small cracks can widen fast. For Roberts, the challenge isn't just tactical anymore, it's psychological. He has to re-inspire belief, both in his leadership and in the system he's built. Because right now, the Dodgers look like a team standing at a crossroads, uncertain whether to rally together or continue fracturing under the pressure. And in October baseball, hesitation can be fatal. Still, there's a glimmer of hope hidden in the tension. Conflict, when handled right, can forge resilience. Some insiders believe that this confrontation might actually serve as a turning point, a necessary purge of bottled frustration that could lead to renewed focus. Roberts has always emphasized accountability, and perhaps this moment will reinforce that value more than any pep talk could. The veterans, too, have a chance to redefine their leadership, showing that passion and criticism can coexist with loyalty. Baseball seasons are long, grueling, and emotional, and sometimes teams need a spark, even if it comes from firestorm. If the Dodgers can channel their frustrations into performance, this episode could become one of those remember when moments that fuel future triumphs. But if they can't, it might mark the beginning of a slow unraveling, the point where the line between dynasty and dysfunction starts to blur. For now, the Dodgers remain silent on the matter, sticking to the business-as-usual script whenever questioned. But everyone knows the truth. This story is far from over. The next few weeks will determine whether Dave Roberts and his players can rebuild what's been fractured or whether the cracks will widen beyond repair. Every pitch, every lineup decision, every locker room interaction will carry extra weight. The whispers won't fade until the results speak louder. The Dodgers have been here before, moments of doubt, scrutiny, and second-guessing. But this time feels different. This time, the challenge isn't coming from their opponents, it's coming from within. And that's the kind of challenge that can define legacies for better or for worse. Whatever happens next, one thing's certain. The Dodgers season just got a whole lot more interesting, and the baseball world will be watching every move from here on out. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.